Hey guys, this is Jarbo Gaming, and today, for all you Gundam fans out there, I've got a little something special for you. Up until this point, the Gundam games I've played, both personally and on this channel, have all been titles that were released in the US, but you should know there are some absolute gems out there that never saw an English release. Today, we're checking out one of these, and honestly, it blew me away. Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn. Released in Japan for the PlayStation 3 in 2012, the game is based on the first 3 episodes of the anime adaptation of its namesake. Oh, and it was developed by a dev studio that you might just have heard of, FromSoftware. Wait. FromSoftware doesn't make bad games, right? So does that mean that the studio not only delivered a Gundam game, but a good one at that?
Yes.
I would say not only did they deliver a great Gundam game, they absolutely nailed it. From the visuals, to the sounds, gameplay feel and more, I struggle to find a flaw with the game, and no, I promise you that I'm not just some FromSoftware fanboy out here shilling for him. So what is the gameplay actually like, and how accessible is it for English speakers? I'll start off with the latter question first. It's very accessible with just one caveat. You need to have at least watched the first 3 episodes of Gundam Unicorn. While many of the actual gameplay elements are in English, if you're not familiar with the story, you may find it hard to follow along unless you happen to read or speak Japanese. You may be able to get a feel for what's happening just by looking at the images that are shown during cutscenes, but I'd highly recommend to just watch the first 3 episodes so you know what's going on. It's also worth noting that while some menu elements are in English, some aren't, and required a bit of trial and error to figure out, but it honestly wasn't a huge deal. When it comes to gameplay, I ran into 0 issues as almost all of your UI is in English and its elements are very self-explanatory. Even the tutorial I found very intuitive. I couldn't understand all of it of course, but I could understand parts of it enough to teach me the basics of control during gameplay. To summarize, you shouldn't let the fact that the game isn't in English deter you from playing it. Just watch the first 3 episodes of the show first and you're golden. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get to what makes this one so great. The game has 2 primary game modes, Unicorn Mode and Custom Cast Mode. Unicorn Mode is, you can probably guess it, the game's primary story mode. It allows you to experience and play through the events of the series from the perspectives of the show's main characters. Banagher Lynx, Maneva Zabi, Marita Cruz, Riddy Marsanis, and Full Frontal are all included. Events of the story are broken up into 2 distinct types of selections. The first are story, which take the form of still image cutscenes and show images from the anime while being voiced over by the selected characters from their perspectives. I couldn't understand what was being spoken of course, but even so, the quality of narration and musical score during these was top-notch and perfectly sets the mood for the events of Unicorn.
私の祖国を大いに苦しめた白い悪魔その同じ名を引き継ぐ白い機体が今私の眼前で覚醒したのだ
The other types of selections are missions, which put you in the cockpit of the corresponding character's mobile suit. These missions cover, event for event, what happened in the first 3 episodes of the show, with only some very minor adjustments. The majority of the details are just spot on. The Unicorn Gundam, Sinanju, Rezel, and everyone's favorite bell pepper, the Kshatriya, a personal favorite of mine, are playable. They're all spectacularly detailed and look stunning in my opinion. Suit loadouts are accurate to what is seen in the show, which means that Kshatriya's funnels, megaparticle cannons, and eye field are all present. The Unicorn's beam magnum was a joy to use. Something about its sound effect is just so satisfying to me. And nothing tops getting in close and personal with your opponent with a beam saber and slicing them in 2. Throughout my playthrough, I was constantly looking for opportunities to close the distance to engage in melee combat, and I found it was by far my favorite method of dealing out damage. The fact that these beam saber clashes could sometimes occur was also a huge plus. Just gorgeous. Suits like the Unicorn and Rezel also feature the ability to transform, so at certain points in the story you get to pilot the Unicorn in destroy mode, while the Rezel, and all other transformable suits for that matter, can be transformed at will. Story was an absolute blast to play through, even if it was a little short, and that was honestly my only complaint about the game. I wanted more, though I guess if my only complaint about something is wanting more of it, that tells you a little bit about its quality. Unicorn mode is absolutely top-notch, with details from the show being expertly recreated in a way that makes you feel like you're piloting its various mobile suits through the show yourself. Really well done. The other primary game mode is called Custom Cast, and is where the bulk of the game's replayability lies. The mode allows you to use an in-game currency, UC points, that you earn by completing missions to unlock various pilots, mobile suits, weapons, and ships to use in the in-game store, or the laboratory as it's called. There's a good amount of playable suits to choose from, and you get to unlock more as you progress. These unlocked suits are used to create your own fleet of various ships and mobile suits. There's a balancing point system in place that changes from scenario to scenario. Each unit, pilot, weapon, etc. is worth a certain amount of points, and you're given an allotment of points to use which you're not allowed to go over. This prevents you from making a team that features only the most powerful units in the game, so choose wisely. There are multiple scenarios or sets of missions to play through that have branching paths to be unlocked based on the score you complete within them. The actual missions range from just destroying enemy units to protecting allies or more, all while dealing with waves of enemy mobile suits and enemy ships, which are much more prevalent than in the game's main story and can be a real nuisance. The end of each set of missions features a boss that has to be taken out, and it won't be a typical run-of-the-mill grunt unit. The mode is honestly quite challenging and may require you to use the tune feature of the game, another area where you can spend your hard-earned UC points to upgrade your various mobile suits and weapons if you want to have a chance of S-ranking everything. Overall, Mobile Suit Gundam Unicorn for the PS3 was an absolute blast. FromSoftware really knocked it out of the park with this one, and it's an absolute treat for Gundam fans. My only wish from the game was that there was more. I would kill for FromSoftware to make another Gundam game in the future. In the meantime though, I highly suggest giving this one a shot. Let me know your thoughts on the game down below. This is Jarbo Gaming, thank you so much for watching, we'll see you on the next one.